glimpses from the lives of great men and women in world history. When the Buddha awakened, the birth and journey of Siddhartha Gautama. In the ancient kingdom of Kapilavastu, nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, the air was thick with anticipation. King Suddhodana and Queen Maya, the revered rulers of the Shakya clan, awaited the birth of their first child. Legends foretold that this child would be destined for greatness. The night was serene, and the stars glittered with an otherworldly brilliance, as if acknowledging the impending arrival of someone extraordinary. On the night of Queen Maya's delivery, she had a vivid dream. A majestic white elephant, holding a lotus flower in its trunk, descended from the heavens and entered her womb. The wise seers and astrologers interpreted this as a divine omen, predicting that the child would either become a great king or a revered spiritual leader. With this prophecy in mind, the kingdom held its breath. The moment arrived on a full moon night in the Lumbini Grove, a tranquil garden filled with blooming flowers and the gentle murmur of streams. As Queen Maya gave birth, she stood holding onto a sal tree branch, her face glowing with an ethereal light. Siddhartha Gautama, as he was named, emerged into the world in a miraculous manner, taking 7 steps immediately upon his birth. With each step, a lotus flower blossomed beneath his feet, and he declared with a voice of purity, "I am the chief of the world. This is my last birth." The young prince was raised in unparalleled luxury. King Suddhodana, eager to shield his son from the harsh realities of life, constructed opulent palaces, one for each season. Siddhartha was surrounded by an entourage of servants, musicians, and the finest teachers, ensuring he never lacked for anything. The prince excelled in all his studies and training, displaying remarkable intellect, physical prowess, and a compassionate heart. Yet despite his privileged life, a sense of restlessness gnawed at his soul. At the age of 16, Siddhartha married the beautiful princess Yasodhara, and they lived together in harmony. However, the prince's curiosity about life beyond the palace walls grew stronger with each passing day. He yearned to see the world outside the gilded cage he was confined to. Eventually, his persistence persuaded his father to allow him to venture beyond the palace grounds, albeit under strict supervision. On his first journey outside, Siddhartha encountered an old man, frail and bent with age. His charioteer Channa explained that all people, even princes and kings, eventually grow old. This revelation struck Siddhartha deeply. On subsequent excursions, he saw a sick person suffering in agony and a corpse being carried to its funeral pyre. The stark realities of aging, sickness, and death left him profoundly unsettled. On his final journey, Siddhartha encountered a serene and ascetic monk. Unlike the previous sights, the monk's peaceful demeanor intrigued the prince. Channa explained that the monk had renounced worldly possessions and sought spiritual enlightenment. This encounter ignited a spark within Siddhartha, compelling him to seek answers to life's suffering and the path to true peace. Despite the birth of his son, Rahula, Siddhartha's inner turmoil persisted. One night, unable to ignore his calling any longer, he made a life-altering decision. Clad in simple robes and with a final glance at his sleeping family, Siddhartha left the palace on his horse, Kanthaka, with Channa by his side. He was determined to find the truth and alleviate the suffering of all beings. Siddhartha wandered for years, studying under various renowned teachers and practicing severe asceticism. He sought to conquer his physical desires and attain spiritual insight. He endured extreme fasting, intense meditation, and self-mortification, pushing his body to its limits. His frame became emaciated and his strength waned, but enlightenment eluded him. Realizing that self-mortification was not the path to enlightenment, Siddhartha abandoned his ascetic practices. He accepted a bowl of rice milk from a kind village girl named Sujata, replenishing his frail body. This act of kindness reminded him of the importance of balance and moderation. His 5 ascetic companions, disillusioned by his perceived weakness, abandoned him, but Siddhartha was undeterred. With renewed determination, Siddhartha made his way to the banks of the Nairanjana River near the village of Bodh Gaya. There, he found a large peepal tree, later known as the Bodhi tree, and resolved to meditate beneath it until he attained enlightenment. He seated himself in the lotus position, his mind focused and unwavering. The night was still, and the air hummed with anticipation. As Siddhartha meditated, he faced relentless temptations and challenges from Mara, the lord of desire and illusion. Mara sought to divert Siddhartha from his path, sending his beautiful daughters to seduce him and conjuring terrifying illusions to instill fear. However, Siddhartha's mind remained steadfast, and he resisted Mara's enticements with unwavering resolve. Through the night, Siddhartha delved deeper into meditation, exploring the layers of his consciousness. He experienced vivid memories of his past lives, gaining profound insights into the nature of existence, suffering, and the cycle of birth and rebirth. He perceived the interconnectedness of all beings and the impermanence of worldly phenomena. As the first light of dawn illuminated the horizon, Siddhartha attained a state of supreme enlightenment. He had become the Buddha, the awakened one. With newfound wisdom, the Buddha gazed upon the world with compassion and clarity. He had discovered the 4 noble truths: the truth of suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. He understood that desire and ignorance were the roots of suffering and that liberation could be achieved through ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. The Buddha rose from his meditation, radiating an aura of serenity and inner peace. His heart brimmed with boundless compassion for all beings, and he resolved to share his profound insights to help others transcend suffering and attain enlightenment. He journeyed to the deer park in Sarnath, where he delivered his first sermon, setting the wheel of Dharma in motion. In this sermon, known as the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha expounded the 4 noble truths and the Noble Eightfold Path to a group of 5 ascetics who had once been his companions. They listened with rapt attention, and by the end of his discourse, one of them, Kondana, had a profound realization and became the first disciple of the Buddha. The Sangha, the community of monks and nuns, was thus established. The Buddha spent the next 45 years of his life traveling across northern India, teaching the Dharma to people from all walks of life. He spoke to kings and commoners, ascetics and householders, men and women, rich and poor. His teachings emphasized the importance of mindfulness, compassion, and the middle way, a balanced approach to life that avoids extremes. One day, as the Buddha was staying in a mango grove, a wealthy and influential young man named Anathapindika visited him. Deeply moved by the Buddha's teachings, Anathapindika offered to build a monastery in the nearby city of Savatthi. He purchased a beautiful grove from Prince Jeta and constructed the Jetavana Monastery, which became one of the most significant centers for the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha's fame spread far and wide, and his teachings attracted countless followers. Among them were notable disciples such as Sariputta, known for his profound wisdom, Moggallana, renowned for his supernatural abilities, and Ananda, the Buddha's devoted attendant. The Sangha grew, and the Buddha's teachings continued to inspire and transform lives. Despite his growing influence, the Buddha remained humble and approachable. He often shared meals with his followers, engaged in discussions, and provided guidance on various aspects of life. He emphasized the importance of personal experience and encouraged his disciples to investigate and verify his teachings for themselves rather than accepting them blindly. As the years passed, the Buddha's physical body began to show signs of age and weariness. He recognized that his time on earth was drawing to a close, but he remained steadfast in his mission to spread the Dharma. One day, as he was traveling with his disciples, he fell seriously ill after eating a meal offered by a blacksmith named Kunda. Despite his condition, the Buddha continued to teach and reassure his disciples, emphasizing the impermanence of all things. Knowing that his end was near, the Buddha made his way to the small town of Kushinagar. There, lying between two sal trees, he gave his final teachings to his disciples. He encouraged them to remain diligent in their practice, to seek refuge in the Dharma, and to be a light unto themselves. With his last breath, the Buddha entered parinirvana, a state of final liberation from the cycle of birth and death. The passing of the Buddha marked the end of an era, but his teachings lived on. The Sangha continued to spread the Dharma, preserving the Buddha's words and practices for future generations. The Buddha's message of compassion, mindfulness, and wisdom resonated across time and space, guiding countless beings on the path to enlightenment. Siddhartha Gautama's journey from a sheltered prince to the enlightened Buddha is a testament to the transformative power of seeking truth and understanding. His life and teachings continue to inspire and illuminate the way for those who seek to transcend suffering and discover the profound peace that lies within. The story of the Buddha is a timeless narrative of awakening, compassion, and the enduring quest for enlightenment.